Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the individual guests or creators and do not necessarily represent the views of their employers, business partners, affiliates, or advertisers. Any opinions, advice, or statements made on this podcast are not intended to be taken as fact or professional advice. Please consult a qualified professional before making any decisions based on the content of this podcast.
Hi everybody, welcome to Untapped Azania. My name is Maureen, the even the queen, the even the princess, or Pindura the answer, whichever one you prefer. Welcome to another episode of Untapped Azania. I do not chill alone. I chill with the one and only
Mash D.
How you doing, Mash D?
I'm fresh and my fresh just gets fresher.
What's the mood? What's the temperature, my dog?
Yo, the diamonds in production are under the pressure. They're under the pressure, fam. You know, like, listen, man. Have you ever been in a situation where you're confused because something happened and your version of events is not the version of events of the other person?
Yeah. Truth is a perspective. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you have your truth and I have my truth.
I feel like there'll always be one truth, like I said. There are our
the
perspectives.
The one truth is a fact.
The one truth that God knows.
Yes.
Yeah, the one truth is a fact.
Yes.
Yeah, so how do you navigate situations like that where you're in murky territory and you're being made to feel like you did something you didn't do, or
you know what? There's
you're guilty of things you're not guilty of.
There's a video I saw of this lady talking about how you should stay away from people that lie to you, because people that do that make you not to trust yourself, right? And they make you go against your intuition, and that's dangerous because that altered, like once you alter that, you kind of alter it. It takes a while to kind of alter it back. And in those situations, I always think about it the same way, that like, I would rather just stay away from the situation until I'm like sober.
Do you know what the danger is with staying away from the situation sometimes? It's that my narrative can thrive. You get me? And sometimes you need to not stay away from the situation to actually protect yourself from a murky perspective thriving.
Okay, so it depends, right? If a person on the other side is intentionally making you feel a certain way, manipulating you, I feel like it's safe to stay away. But if it's a question of we're just misunderstanding each other, like we're not getting each other, then I feel like, okay, have the conversation. But I've been in too many situations where I felt like people are just intentionally choosing to like go with a narrative that they know is wrong because there are facts that actually go against their narrative,
sometimes,
and then they just go with it.
Sometimes it's like, I mean, for me, how I look at it, it's either you are protecting yourself from feeling a certain type of way.
Yeah.
Or maybe you are not willing to take accountability of some things. So you're better off, putting it all on the other person.
Else,
and you don't want to take accountability for perhaps the part that you play or you played. And yeah, it's wild. It's wild. But yeah,
that's so interesting. That's like a crazy way to start today. Like, it's like we got into right in the thick of things.
But I'm fresh and I'm fresher.
And my fresh just gets fresher.
Nothing can defeat the diamonds, man.
I hear you, my dog.
They glow regardless.
I hear you, fam. Welcome to another episode once again. If you're new here, please like, subscribe. Let us know what you've been tapped into so we can tap into that as well. If you're returning, what is wrong with your perspective? Also like, subscribe. Let us know what you've been tapped into because we'd like to tap to that as well. But my dog, what have you been tapped into besides murky waters and murky
I'm not tapped into that. I'm not tapped into that. That was just me sort of giving a proper perspective on how I'm feeling. Honesty matters. I want to ask you something. That's what I've been tapped into because I've been seeing so many conversations around the national dialogue. And I don't know what it is. I can see what's going on, or I have an idea of what it could possibly constitute. But I was like, I don't have the energy to actually go into what this is about. I might just rather engage with you on it because I think you can give me a more clearer understanding of where we are as a country.
Like I'm just the same as you, bro. Like I saw videos and I saw there was a live stream happening, but to be honest, I'm not like
what was the live, like the actual dialogue happening?
Yeah, the actual dialogue happening. So oh my gosh, I honestly do not know what. I know what's happening. Like I have an idea that like it's different like spheres of the country, like the government and people, just stakeholders, having this dialogue with the government, like proper stakeholders having dialogue with the government. So there's everybody included. I saw students were included, business people were included, and obviously national government. But I honestly
what's happening? Is it on
well.
SABC One? Like
I don't know. I saw a live stream of it. There was somebody that was live streaming it on TikTok, really, and that's as much as I got. Outside of that, I saw like snippets of people asking questions and them getting answered, and the president sort of taking a nap right in the thick of it. But pretty much that's all.
Okay, yeah. The thing is, it's been making me think, like, what's the intention? We're gonna have it.
I did watch a video of Sizwe Mpofu-Walsh sort of talking about the national dialogue. I think he had JJ Tabane on the show. And JJ's view was that he's for the dialogue because he feels that everybody should get in a room and actually talk together, like talk to each other. But he was sort of against, and I think Sizwe also agreed with this, like he was sort of against the dialogue being like about government with just government officials. So think about parliament sitting to talk about themselves. Like he was like, that's not gonna work.
So its current format is sort of what he was supporting.
If it's a dialogue, then it has to be government with the people because the subject of the matter is government. We're trying to gauge whether people are happy with what government is doing. And I sort of agreed with that because I feel like if you're having a dialogue with yourself, it sort of takes you back to when you have like commissions and stuff. It's a lot of money spent on these commissions. There's a lot of time spent on these commissions, a lot of recommendations that come out of these commissions, and nothing happens, right? But I think this is a little bit different in that even if nothing happens, like even if people tell government, like, this is what our problems are, this is what we want to be solved, or these are our main issues, at least they voice that out publicly and there's a record form of what's been happening, right? The other thing I think that they spoke about was like the managing of the dialogue, because apparently it was happening on Zoom or something like that, and it was difficult to just keep track of who's there, who's not there. And that's kind of from like just a record keeping governance is an issue, because how do you know who was there?
That's
and
the
how
thing.
do you even
that's why I'm
record
so confused, because I haven't come across anything that sort of put it out.
Like final, like that's like, this is the main source of information. If you want to find information, here it is. Yeah,
because I think for something like that, government should have even invested in ads where
we should have seen billboards. Like, it should have been available. You're right.
It should be in your face.
You're right.
If you're on YouTube, you should see an ad.
Because why aren't we there? Because I would like to be there. I would like to sit there and talk. But I mean, I guess there's also like, maybe there's ways in which they got people from different sectors. Like, you can't just rock up in these sessions. I don't know. I'm just assuming, because I haven't seen anything formal, just like you, Doc.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then something else I've been thinking about is, Our natural, I can't remember what sparked this. Could have been an album I came across recently or an interview of because there's a lot of beautiful rap albums
JID has a beautiful body of work out right now.
So fire. God loves ugly. Something like that. But yes, it actually speaks to what I'm about to say. Because what I was about to say is, I feel like as humanity, right, where we're at right now, as a generation, we have an unnatural affinity for positive results. It's like negative results aren't cool anymore. We're not doing things just to try, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
When has it become not cool to try?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm trying things. You tried it too. You know, how you gonna knock somebody in the world for actually trying to do something? Trying. Since when has it become not cool to try? Fucking loser.
Yeah, like people just try things once and then they give up on it.
Yeah, also people don't want to be seen throwing themselves in the deep end anymore.
The flip side of that is you never get good at anything because you're not trying. So like whatever you're doing, and like if it's working in a specific way and you just keep it working that way and you don't try to get out of the way it's working, it never gets better. It just stays the same, right? And it could be better. You could be an expert in something, but for you to be an expert in something, you actually have to like
put in the work
and actually just like try different things with whatever you do. Even if you're working on the same thing, you can try different ways of doing it so that you can test out negative results. You can get the negative results and be like, oh, that didn't work. Like I tried this, it didn't work. Oh, okay, let me try that, it didn't work. Like experiments. But I get it. Like it's not cool to look like a loser. Like nobody wants to be a loser, dog.
But it's not even, I don't even think that's the thing. I think even the way we look at it is that, like, you're a loser. But the thing is, you're not really a loser.
You're not. Yeah. But like society looks at it as, look at that guy just trying. Think about how beefs and how, just think about how people diss each other and when they do what they pick on. Like, if you're trying something and it's failing, they're going to tell you have a failing rap career. Or, like, if you are trying to start up something like a business, they're going to tell you, like, your business is not working.
Yeah, like your campaign with Under Armour, if that's the company you're working with, was whack because you sold less than anticipated amount of sneakers. Yeah.
There's something that I saw about Reebok, I think with, what's his name? Try Jesus, please don't try me. That guy. As well, like, there was some commotion around that. Like, people...
Is it Toby?
Yeah, Toby. I think he has a collaboration with Reebok, but
yeah, very dope sneakers.
The mint sort of color.
Yeah.
He also, I think, what's his name? David Kalua, the Get Out guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's his name, if I'm pronouncing it right. But yeah, that guy also has a deal now with Reebok. But there was some chats around that. Like, people will pick on the stuff that you're failing at to make you feel bad about it, right? And I personally, I'm like, this is how I feel about it, Renee. I think that by the time something comes out to the world, like a failure goes out into the world, right? I've looked at the failure myself and I've analyzed it myself so much that I feel like there's nothing you can say about the failure that I haven't thought of. There's a video I saw, like, this guy was talking about, I think it was on Podcast and Chill. There's a comedian that was there this past week and he was talking about how his wife they couldn't have kids as a family. They just recently had a baby.
11 years.
Yeah, 11 years. And then he's like, people literally picked on that, like ladies specifically. He's like, guys are hard, but ladies went for that. Like every single time there was an issue, it always came back to the fact that, oh yeah, but you can't have kids, or that's why you can't have kids.
And it's things that are completely unrelated to kids. Yeah.
Unrelated. Yeah. But it's even hard. Think about if you're trying to have kids and somebody is like, putting that, like, oh yeah, that's why you can't
that's
have
why
kids.
The podcast sucks. Yeah. Because you can't have kids.
Yeah, that's why you can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or you just have, or you have a conflict with somebody that's unrelated, and they're like, oh yeah, that's why you have a failing podcast
Yeah,
because
you can't have kids.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some things that are just not related. People pick on that stuff, and
Yeah.
the more we project that and we allow that to get us down, the more we like stop people from trying. And the more we project a perfect picture of our lives, the more we make it weird to try and to fail. Because what we're projecting is we're saying, here's a picture perfect, da, 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 this is how it looks, it's nice, da, 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 da. It can't look any less than this, right? It can't look, the standard can't be below this. This is the standard, and this is how we should come out. There's a video of a lady that was talking about how girls come up on TikTok, on YouTube, Instagram, whatever, and be like, today we're going to talk about female hygiene. And they just go on a rant being so mean with just the delivery and just being classist about like just the very basic things like sanitary towels and like things like that. And she was like, bro, like you're coming out of here, like coming onto the internet, presenting yourself as a person of influence, but you are actually spewing so much vile, like you're spewing so much negativity that like even a child who actually is trying to look at your videos and take notes, they can't because you're actually bringing them down. It's things like that where like even when you're trying to be better, like the way people present the better, it's to look down on you, like, you know?
It's like that false positive type energy that people bring to content that are in the informal settlements, like someone that lives in a shack, right? And they say that's so authentic.
Yeah,
that's classist, bro. There are undertones.
I love how you're just like natural, and you're just like, and I'm like,
nah, B. No.
This is so authentic, showing that real authentic lifestyle. But I do understand, you know, like I feel like it's getting harder to interact with people in a way because I think there's a lot of things that people like. I could genuinely be saying that from a genuine place, like in my ignorance, right? Or just I'm in my mind, I'm thinking this is a compliment to you. But you can come up and be like, yeah, everybody's been saying, Maureen, I like your dark skin. But like, please stop saying that. That's so offensive because like for whatever reason, but like it's getting harder for us, I feel, to interact with people in like authentic ways because we're picking up on these things that are just, we're like, oh, that doesn't sound right. Oh, that's not, that's not kosher. It doesn't sound right. It projects me in a certain way or some vibe, you know?
Yeah. And also, I think positive results are also overrated. Because think about it, right? Think about anything that you worked on, that you executed on, and the outcome was as closely accurate.
Yeah.
It was accurate. You had an accurate outcome, right? Usually what happens for me in situations like that is, what's the next thing to move on to?
Yeah.
You get me? Like it's not a feeling of sticking around and
let me figure it out.
No. Even just living in the moment. You can't live. Life is just always moving. So even it's like yin and yang, bro. Life is the yin and the yang. So in as much as I feel like this unwillingness to actually experience negativity is dumb because it's one and the same thing. Because even if you do get a positive result, you want to move, bro. It's not like you're gonna be sitting in the
and celebrating it, and we
forever
don't
and ever, dog. You want to move.
We don't even celebrate stuff anymore. But I hear you. I think that's a valid chat. I think it's
also we're an instant gratification sort of generation, so that also contributes to not wanting to put in the work. It's like,
do you know what
things must happen right now?
I've been thinking about taking a social media break, which is weird because I honestly haven't been on social media that much. But like, I've been so away from social media that like even when I post something, like I've minimized my interaction with social media for it to be like work. Like if it's related to the podcast, like I'll put it out there and put it out to the world quickly as I possibly can, and just engage with people where I can. But I try to minimize that as well because it gets loud. So now like I tried like just posting a few things onto social media, and I just like there was this overwhelming response that I actually even don't think I get even when I post like work related stuff, like podcast related stuff, or just any other content that's not like me personal stuff. And it overwhelmed me so much that I was like, yo, I think I need a break. Like I need to like just take a breather from this, because it doesn't feel natural for me to get so much positive.
It's overstimulating.
Yeah, it's overstimulating. It's like
I hear you.
Like I moved from not having a lot of notifications to going back and like I have so many notifications I can't even respond to people. And I guess that's like it's good because people are responding to you and you're engaging with people and it shows people's interest in your life or whatever. But it's just like I don't even have this much people in my space. Like 80% of my time is spent by myself. But now there's like this overwhelming amount of people that I have to interact with through a phone, not even in physical form. I can't touch, I can't see your facial expression. I just need to gauge from what's on the net. And that stuff I think is addictive. Like the logging into your phone and then finding like a bunch of notifications. Like I think it's addictive. It's like you want to have more of it because it gets you on a high.
The dopamine rush.
Yeah, it gets you on this dopamine rush, and you sort of feel like you need to get it. You need to keep on getting it. You need to keep on getting it, and that can translate into even life itself. Like because of that instant gratification, you must start thinking that everything that you do is just like gold. Like it just needs to be perfect. It just needs to go out there as a finished product because it sparks the gratification. You get the wows, the claps, the hearts, you know what I mean? And I think it feeds into people not trying anymore or not even like doing something that's different because it's like you're not sure if you're going to get the dopamine rush and you need the dopamine rush. So it's easier to just do the quick clickbait stuff that can get you the rush that you need or the fix that you need as an addict, you know?
I feel you. Damn.
But yeah.
Yeah. Something I've been thinking about as well, you know? Yeah, because I do feel like I also do need some kind of digital detox. And I've also not been engaging with social media beyond just going there to ensure that I share untapped content. But it's like when you're there's obviously what's happening in the Middle East, so that's gonna get to you. So for me, that's also what my problem is. You know, I think I've gotten over the need to engage on the socials. It's like, hey, bro, I'm engaging with the people I need to engage with in real life. You know, even if it's friends, it's like, I have you on WhatsApp, bro. I'm gonna text you when I need you. So it's, I've completely separated my need to be on like an Instagram or a Twitter for that very reason. You know, Twitter, it's also that thing of like, I'm just, you know,
Twitter scares me. I don't even
5-10 minutes, quickly rush through what's the most funny thing that's trending today, laugh a little, because Twitter can be very funny. But beyond that, I'm not engaging at that level because it's also, there's so many things. For me, the fear is in the things that are triggering. Like when I think of the need for a digital detox, that's what I was about to get to, is my problem is with the things that are triggering. I really do get triggered by these things. It's like,
yep, yeah.
It sucks to see a kid that's just starving, bro, and malnourished.
Yeah. It sucks to log on to, like, I was just thinking about this today, that I could be minding my business, just scrolling through, and I'll see a video of some guy that just killed his wife or just did something
Yeah. Yeah.
like gruesome like that, and I get triggered. You know what I mean? Like that is like, and
Now
I
your
still
day-
need to
now
go
your day's
on
a
with my day.
mess.
Yeah, and the thing is, I still need to go on with my day. I need to engage with people still, in people in my life. I still need to talk to the people in my life, and still be okay, because these people didn't trigger me. I got triggered by something that's totally unrelated to them, and so I can't necessarily show up with that baggage to them. It's not fair,
Yeah. The thing you're saying about the struggle, yeah, who you this guy with the wife and stuff. It's making me think of if you're in a situation, even if it's not because you just can't have kids, but say you just decide to adopt kids, right? For whatever reason, would you tell the child as soon as they are conscious enough for you to have that conversation? Or would you choose not to?
Personally, I think I would. Like, as soon as they're able to understand, like, what I'm talking about, I think I would. Because I would want to make it as a natural of a thing than to make it like it's some scary big secret that is out there in the world. Like, I'd like us to have even conversations from a very early age to actually like kind of bet down the questions that they might have, or the insecurities or whatever that may come up, bet them down quite early, because I don't want, when I think about it, I don't want a situation where they're like older and then they're thinking back. You know what they say about realizing, when you're like realizing certain situations, where, oh, this is why this happened, and it hurts you because you, at the time, you probably couldn't put a finger on it, but now you're realizing and you're like, oh damn, like I wasn't crazy, I was gaslighting myself for no reason. I wouldn't want that to happen, and I also wouldn't want it to be a weapon that the world uses against my child, where somebody gets mad and then they're like, yeah, you're not even her daughter, or you're not even her son, you're adopted. I'd like that to be like, if ever a situation was to come up like that, they're just like, you're weird. Like, you're a weird person for even saying that, Yeah. What do you think?
They could even respond. Yeah, I also would tell them, because I feel like the truth always has a way of bringing itself to light. So yeah, even if it's not a situation where someone tells them, they could feel a certain type of way, or they could just feel out of place, and not because they are treated differently from maybe the other kids, or even if they're the only child, but like they could just feel out of place. Like, this is not my family, when they're with perhaps the extended family or whatever, So I think it's I would make sure I tell them, and very early.
Yeah.
I think kids, I put kids at a very high level in terms of being able to understand things.
Yeah.
And yeah, for me, I would have the conversation early, maybe 8, 7.
Yeah, as soon as they're like able to
Have a
understand
conversation,
and have a conversation back to me, like as soon as they're able to talk to me and articulate themselves, I think I would, because I think it's important, right? My favorite series, This Is Us, bro. Like, that series, like, if you have time, just go through like all, I think it's 6 seasons of This Is Us.
Damn.
It's it explores the idea of like the adoption, right? So it's a family, right? I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm just gonna give you a high level. It's a family. It's a white family. They were expecting like triplets, but one baby passed away during the process of giving birth. So they adopted, right on the same day, literally adopted another baby that was in the hospital. The baby is black and the family is white. So they are part of these, like, it's like triplets, but like the one is black and the other 2 are white. And it explores just like every one of them, it explores their different lives, but it's also centered around this guy who's
black.
who's black and who's trying to navigate his position in life as a black man, but also in this family and what that means for him.
It's no different to the chemistry compatibility chat. If it was up to me, white people wouldn't be allowed to adopt black kids, and black people wouldn't be allowed to adopt white kids. But it's a whole different conversation.
Yeah,
for
I have a different view.
Yeah, I know you do. Duh.
I have a different view, but anyway,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I've been tapped into
Yeah.
because there's been, and it fits right into what we're talking about
Okay.
because it's relationships, but not those ones. But yeah, it's those ones. There was a conversation I saw of these ladies talk. I think it was on Defining, where they were talking about, and the question was asked, right? Do you find it easier to forgive a partner or a friend, right? And why that's the case, something along those lines. And the person that explained, actually, before I actually get to the person that was having this conversation, let me ask you that question. Do you find it easier to forgive a friend or a partner? So your girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah, I'm very logical, man. I think it all depends on what they did. It's not one size fits all.
Okay, that's a very gray answer. But
This is one of those grays for me.
I was expecting
Because I feel like saying
on the other
girlfriend or
side.
saying friend, I think now it becomes hierarchical where someone matters more than the
than-
other. Because if I'm saying that I'm more willing to forgive my girlfriend for something that a friend could just do a similar thing, then that's why it's gray.
Yeah, that's exactly what the chat was.
Yeah.
Because they were asking and the person that, the clip I saw, the person was explaining that
Do you think it's easier to forgive a friend for a betrayal, or is it easier to forgive a man for betrayal?
It's easier maybe to forgive the man because maybe you left room for disappointment. And it's harder to forgive your friend because that's the last thing. Do you know what I'm like? Yeah.
with a partner or a person of the opposite sex, they expect the other person, they expect to be disappointed with the other person, right? They expect their partner to mess up, whatever. Boys mess up or girls mess up, whatever. Girls and guys don't get each other.
Do you think that's an indefinite feeling?
On the other side...
Do you think that's an indefinite feeling? No, but before you continue, do you think that's an indefinite feeling? Because for me, I feel like, yes, maybe in the beginning, I can feel that way. But dude, if we've built this trust over time...
Can you allow me?
I'm not going to expect you to disappoint me. Okay, it's fine.
So now they're with a friend, right? Say the lady... You expect them to understand, you expect them to get your perspective. So when they do something, you're like, but why would you do that to me? Why is that even a thing? Why is that even
So this person's perspective was also, there was also the assumption that the friend is of a similar gender and the partner's of a different gender.
Yeah, there was
You
that
see, now
assumption.
there are just too many loopholes in how they analyze the situation.
There's that assumption, but I found that to be a very interesting chat
I think we're not asking good enough questions. A question like that, the framing of the question matters so much. And I think this also speaks to AI and these generative models. I feel like now is the time where the idea guy wins. And the idea guy will win because it's about prompts. It's about, are you able to engage with this thing at the most highest level? The greatest communicators win this era. We're still in the very early stages of AI, but if AI really becomes a part of our lives, the idea guy wins because it's the great communicators. The framing of the question matters so much. With a situation like that, I feel like all the nuances that matter should have been outlined. If you're gonna say relationship, for example, there's a lack of trust, or we expect the partner. You should. I think you should outline that we expect partners early on, because I think say someone's your girlfriend, but then you've been with them for a longer period of time. Dude, unless you guys are in some toxic type vibe, I feel like for you guys to last so long, it means there's a certain level of trust that's been built, right? Another thing there where there's a loophole is the obvious one of like their friends, that can be of the opposite gender.
Yeah.
And these can be very close friends that you run things by. I wouldn't run something that is to do with a situation I'm facing with someone of the opposite gender with a friend of the same gender before I run it by a friend of the opposite gender, because I feel like they could, or maybe I wouldn't, if I do actually run it by a friend of the same gender, I will make sure I also run it by my friend of the opposite gender, because they could see it from a completely different context. But like when I complain to you about girls, you laugh and you're like, hey, I get it. I get her. And that's the same thing with my niece, bro. I was telling her about a situation and she's just like, but I'm also just like that. And then it makes you not necessarily empathize more, but it makes you get it. Where in situations where you're like, this girl is just being nonchalant, but it's like, no, this is a girl thing.
Yeah, we all have like in some way have a universal experience to a certain degree. I think back to your like first reaction to this, to be like, yeah, but like, what, like, is this indefinite? Is it like whatever? I think that I found the conversation to be interesting because I was like, damn, like we are so black and white about things that are actually very nuanced, right? Like that question, as you say, has a lot of nuances to it. And in the way that we ask it in a very black and white way. And that's why I asked it the way I asked it, because I was like expecting a very specific answer, like
binary,
either black or white, 0 or 1. And I think maybe that's the thing about with our relationships, right? We are not as patient with each other anymore because we have set up a set of rules. Or if a person does this, that means this is what they're doing, and therefore that means we need to throw them away.
Don't you think we're just lazy? Lazy to think, lazy to engage?
No, I think we're channeled to think a specific way, and we explore the length of that particular way that we are supposed to be thinking about. So it's not a matter of you're not thinking, you are thinking, but you're just sort of thinking in a particular direction. And I'm not sure if that's laziness per se. I think it's there are powers that be that specifically want relationships to be a certain way at this very moment. And the extent that we take it in the rabbit hole, we're just going through a rabbit hole and we're taking our time and we are analyzing and we're listening to podcasts and people like us analyzing relationships in the very opposite role, which for me, I think the basic of every relationship is just consideration. And whatever it is that you're going to do, if you are considerate and the other person is considerate, you are always going to find a baseline. So back to your initial question, even about you being misunderstood and a situation having two different types of truths, it's also like consideration.
Perspectives.
Perspectives and consideration. It's like, I need to be willing to see your perspective, and you should on the other side be willing to hear my perspective. The only time I would go against that is when I feel like people are intentionally just being lazy or just going for me, like intentionally, because then I don't think anything positive comes out of that. But that's just me.
Oh, you're making perfect sense.
You get me?
I get you fully.
Yeah, my dog. So, what is your question of the week?
So are you?
Because I have something else I wanted to tap into, like very quickly.
Okay.
Before we get into the question of the week, actually, I saw a video of this police guy eating cake at a shop, like I think it was like an Indian shop, like where there's, where you buy like your phone covers, like those type of shops. I could be wrong, but it was similar. We'll stitch the video. The guy was eating cake, like he was in his full uniform. And there were two reactions from that video. People were like, yeah, this is why there's so much crime out in the world, because you guys are out there chilling with people, having a nice time, like just roaming around the streets, enjoying yourself, eating cake. And then there was another perspective where people were like, oh, look at South Africa, look at the rainbow nation, like how beautiful, how lovely. For me, I was just like, like, somebody, humanity is so weird. Like, if I hold a specific position in society, I'm not allowed to be human. Or even my humanity levels are limited to a certain extent, right? Because, yes, I'm a policeman, and yes, I'm on duty, and I need to be professional. But we all know we love cake, bro. Like, people love cake. And this is life. You could be sharing, like, a really important moment with somebody. We don't even know context. What if it was that guy's birthday and those guys gave him cake?
Loyiso Gola was saying something similar on SMWX, where he was saying he got hurt, I think his knee, and then he had to go see a physiotherapist.
Yeah.
Then when he got there, instead of him being a patient, he was Loyiso Gola, and he was saying it's dehumanizing to be a celebrity sometimes, bro. Like, people just treat you somehow, like, hey, bro, like, I'm in pain. I'm in dire pain. Yeah.
Yeah, but also I think I was just thinking about this, that I have a podcast and we have this thing, right? We put this out in the world and we want it to go as far as it possibly can. But I was actually thinking this week, what will that mean? Because I saw a Tyler video of her being carried out of a club or something like that. And people were like, oh, is she okay? It was giving like Princess Diana type vibes. Like, oh my gosh. Like, everybody's losing their minds. And I'm like, imagine like you get to that level of stardom that like you can't sleep up. Like I can't be seen in public just like minding my business, reading a book, because I like reading my books at the park or whatever. I can't just do normal things like that. Or even just have like a terrible night or a really good night that just ends up going out of control. Yeah. Like anybody my age.
That's why I want this podcast to be a capsule for when we're gone.
Hey,
because I wouldn't want it to be a big thing when we're still alive, man.
Yeah.
For those very reasons.
Yeah.
So for the question of do you want to say something real quick?
No, I was thinking about what James Baldwin and Nikki Giovanni, they had conversations, and I'm sure it was pretty popular then in their times, but I think it even got even more popular now, like their conversation, and that clip that is so famous, Yeah, so I hear you.
Yeah. So my question to you is, what's a new principle or a new boundary or perhaps a new rule of thumb that's come up because of a recent realization?
Damn. Woo! I don't think it's like, I think it's a reoccurring thing. Like the last time I spoke about how things never really go away until you have learned what they really need to teach you, whatever. I think it's a reoccurring thing for me. It's like, I'm trying to find like a very like
succinct way to put it.
But in essence, it's really about like, when something doesn't feel right for the first time, trust your instinct about it. Either ask more questions so that you can get clarity that you need, or just pause a little bit or stay away from that thing until you can put a finger on what's making you feel uncomfortable about the thing. Because recently I've had to kind of peel through some very heavy things, and I'm realizing that, like, had I dealt with these things earlier on in the beginning of the thing, I wouldn't have been here. Like, had I trusted my gut at the time that I picked up on it, I actually, the situation wouldn't be as heavy as it is now. I think it's heavy now because it has built up over some time, and I didn't kind of I didn't trust myself at the time that my instincts were right.
Yeah.
And because of that, I kind of allowed things to just build up. And then now that I'm faced with it, it's like a whole thing just falling down because of that one thing I could have done in the beginning that could have made a situation much clearer for me, where I could have decided, oh, okay, I get it, or I could have been like, I don't get this, and cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not run with it.
Yeah.
I hear you.
And you?
I think you explained it very well. But for me, a recent realization was that I'm not going to entertain people anymore if I'm engaging with them and they decide to go on their phone. Give me your attention if you want us to engage.
You're strict.
No, I just let's
strict.
No, there's a difference between your phone ringing and then you're quickly responding. But I'm talking to you, we're having a real conversation.
That's disrespectful.
And then you start texting.
That's disrespectful.
Hear me? Like that happened recently. And I kept on engaging and engaging and engaging. And then later on, like when I had left, I was like asking myself, like, I was taken for a puss, bro. Especially because I didn't initiate the conversation. You get me? That sucks.
That's pathetic.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
So I realized that it's a new principle that I will have in the back of my head. When you start putting your phone out, I need to quickly make sense of what's going on.
But you know what we do?
Peace sign for the peace out.